Hello, everyone. I hope everything is fine. I would say we wait for some more seconds for people to join. And then we can get started. So first of all, let me apologize because I heard that some of you have received the invite for the webinar pretty late, so yesterday. We're currently changing lots of things in our tech systems. So there was a syncing topic between a new emailing software that we started to use last year and basically Ad Optimizer. So we will do definitely better for the next webinar and announcements. Before we jump into the presentation, I just want to emphasize that this is a very big milestone for us. So those of you who have followed us for quite some time know that we started about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years ago to come up with a new vision. And basically releasing a new Ad Optimizer was a very big part of it. I will also tell you why in a second. So first of all, we are adding new features that you have requested over the past months and years. But secondly, we have really rebuilt the whole backend of Ad Optimizer to make it consistent with Amazon advertising, so with Amazon ads. And that will allow us in the future to add more features in a way faster way. For example, like adding countries, day parting or stuff that is not in there yet. And with regards to the webinar today, if you have any questions, then just write it into the chat. I will try to answer them right away. I've prepared a slideshow of the new Ad Optimizer. And I guess for these slides, we will not need a full hour. But if you have more questions, we can also maybe take a look into the new system at the end of this webinar if you want. So just write it into the chat and I can react on your questions and on your feedback. Okay, let's start. A short introduction. I will not talk about metoda, but we will also share the slides later on. But maybe adding one slide here about where we are currently standing and what our mission is that we're currently on. So you may have seen that we, over the past 1.5 years, we've added consulting to the services that we are providing to help you basically strategically understand the market. In Amazon Ads, we've also added services like, for example, the DSP management and the DSP reporting as a tool where you can see all the DSP data and get some more insights on your DSP campaigns. And what is pretty new this year is we have started at the beginning of the year to also provide content support, so content services, content creation, and brand store management as a service, because we want to make the offering that the services that we provide you really full service for Amazon. The other part that we're currently working on, and this is still upcoming, this is one big next milestone for this year, is our data hub that we're working on. So you may know that we have tons of e-commerce data and insights at hand. We are basically scraping and collecting these data from different websites, but we're also using APIs. And mostly tech people are using this data and the APIs that we're providing. And we want to make this more useful for business users in the future. And this will come, well, in the second half of the year, quite likely. Okay, so my name, by the way, is Stefan. I'm one of the founders of Metoda. I have more than 15 years of experience in online marketing and e-commerce by now. We started the company in 2012, and my main focus in the beginning was sales and marketing. We may have met in the past on some exhibition or industry events. But since 2020, my main focus is basically the products that we have at Metoda. And this is also my role that I'm representing here in this webinar. So yeah, I've added my contact details, by the way, to the end of the slides. If you have any questions, you can, or any feedback, just approach me directly. Okay, let's jump into the new ad optimizer. There are three basically topics that ad optimizer is built around. So one is optimize. So in the end, we want to make your campaigns better that you have already set up. We want to improve it with an automation for target harvesting, and with state-of-the-art algorithms, of course. We want to help you to scale. So scaling in this sense means that you can scale tons of different campaign setups, goals and budgets, also countries in one system. And in the end, we believe that Ad Optimizer is also about to relax, because you can sit back after you've inserted all the basic factors that you want the campaigns to be optimized for, and simply rely on our algorithms to do the job 24/7. And that's what we believe Ad Optimizer should be there, and how we will also support you in the future, of course. Okay, this is an overview of how we feel what strengths Ad Optimizer is providing to support Amazon ads. And some of the features will come in the remaining part of the year. So we will definitely work on adding more countries, for example. And we will, you may realize that the notification filters from the old Ad Optimizer are not there yet. We're currently rebuilding them, because we know they can be improved. And we also want to send you in the future notification emails, for example, that we haven't done in the past. So you're informed every time you could or should take an action without actively looking into the system all the time. But the other features I will mention in the remainder of the webinar. Okay, so we've changed some parts of the campaign creation, as you might have experienced already, because yesterday we released the system, and some of you have already written us some emails about questions and the new features. So I think one of the most relevant new features is that we're now able to create all campaign types that Amazon Ads is providing. So you now have the possibility of not only creating sponsored products and sponsored brands, but also sponsored display campaigns. And that has been a highly requested feature from you, obviously, because it's also a very important campaign type in the whole marketing funnel. We also added more ad formats. So you are now able not only to create product collection, sponsored brand campaigns, but also store spotlight campaigns right out of Ad Optimizer. What we're currently not supporting yet is video, the video ad format, but you can easily create the video campaigns within the ad console, and then Ad Optimizer is importing this campaign, and we will take over the management of bids and budgets and so on. So then, this is something I like a lot. So you have we wanted to make Ad Optimizer as scalable as possible, so as efficient as possible for you. In the campaign creation flow, you now have the possibility to create multiple targetings at the same time. So let's say you're creating a sponsored product campaign or multiple sponsored product campaigns for different ASINs. And now you want to test different targetings at the same time. So product targeting, maybe category targeting for SDs, views remarketing, purchases remarketing, and so on. Or Amazon Auto for SPs. And you can basically have a bulk shortcut of creating all of these different setups within the creation flow. So simply select the campaign you want to create, add basically the ASINs or the other details that you need, and then select what kinds of targeting you want to use. And this in the end allows you very quickly, so you can simply press this new targeting type link. One targeting type obviously is always mandatory, but you can add more targeting types as you go. And you can also customize the targeting way better than before, but we'll come to that later. Okay, Then that was also something you asked for. We are now supporting custom images. We are supporting it for sponsored brands at the moment. For sponsored displays, we're still working on it. This is due to some specific requirements that Amazon has on these, on basically the creatives, the formats of the creative. But for sponsored brands, you can create it right out of Ad Optimizer, and for sponsored display, you can do the changes in the advertising console. And you also see this, by the way, but we'll come to that later on in a campaign details section that we also added now. The other thing we added was the activation and deactivation of metoda target harvesting. So when we started Ad Optimizer in 2017, Ad Optimizer was meant to be a software that is really fully automating all of your tasks within Amazon Ads. And that's why we also made basically target harvesting as one of the basic features when you create a campaign. So that was activated for most of the time. Yeah. But we see that there are some use cases that require a very specific set of keywords. And that's why we decided to give you the option to activate or deactivate the target harvesting. First, you can activate and deactivate it on creation. So we will initially nurture the campaign with a set of targets that we believe are fitting to the campaign or campaigns. And secondly, you can basically change it on a running campaign. So also on a running campaign, we are now adding targets that we get recommended by Amazon. So to test these targets. And if you don't want that we change a campaign that is already set up, you can simply deactivate it after creation. So you have way more flexibility now of managing your campaign, and also the exact setup and the exact targeting that the campaign is focused on. I mean, obviously, the tip is start broad, let Ad Optimizer do some basic tests in the beginning, and later on focus on strategic targets maybe. It might be strategic terms, keywords that you want to show up on, or it might be your branded terms, so you can create solely branded campaigns right out of Ad Optimizer in a very easy way now. Okay. Then you might have experienced or seen this already. We have massively changed the way the bulk import sheet and sheets. You will see other import sheets as we move on. So the new sheets, I would recommend that you simply check out the new sheets. You will find it in the campaigns table when you press on export and then export in bulk import template. And here you will see that we have designed the sheets around campaign types and ad formats. So you find one sheet for your sponsored products, one sheet for sponsored brand, product collection, one sheet for sponsored brand, for spotlight, and so on. And you will also find some more helpful information in the sheets, like what are your assets, because sometimes you need the asset ID, a logo or a custom image to create a campaign, and also a list of all your portfolios. We've also added some basic validations and checks within Excel, which hopefully makes your life with the bulk imports way easier and faster. And what we also did was, you may have realized that there's no launchpad anymore, which had been there before. So that was basically a draft state of campaigns before we created them or before we conducted a change. But now you have now you have an issue report, and this is also highlighted here on the slides. So if you import something that is leading to an issue, you are able to download an issue report, which is basically the bulk import template with, in the end, you find an error column and some error details on what went wrong when we try to create or update specific campaigns. Okay, then because we removed the launchpad, we were thinking about where is the place to to edit a category and tags for a campaign or for campaigns that you're newly creating. And we decided that we also place this in the campaign creation flow. So besides adding a target ACOS for a campaign, so a goal, and defining a portfolio and the start and end date, you will now be able in the campaign settings to add a category and also some tags that you want to have. Okay, and finally, if you're basically creating campaigns or if you're importing campaigns, you will see a spinning wheel, which is processing the change or the creation. And we created a new filter, especially the last updated new filter, which is per default getting active when you're inserting something or importing something, and your campaign list will be filtered by all the campaigns that got an update or that got a creation in the past few minutes. And you can also take a look at the past 10 minutes and the past 1 hour. So you have hopefully a way easier time of identifying the campaigns that you have created and then doing some final changes before you basically can add optimizer to the rest and relax and lean back. Okay, that brings us now to the next section, and that's campaign management. We also decided to add some new features when managing a campaign. And the first one to highlight here is you can now manage all Amazon Ads campaigns, including videos, within Ad Optimizer. And we also created a unified campaign status. So you may know that we had, I don't know, around 10 or more different campaign status in the old system, but we decided to go for, I guess, 6 campaign status values to identify all running campaigns quite easily, to identify all campaigns with an error, all rejected ones, all paused ones, and so on. And this is obviously also reflected in the corresponding filter that you have available in the campaigns table. We have a new feature, and this new feature is really fantastic, I think. So you might know that our success team, our agency team, has had the possibility to set specific bids to keywords also in the past. And that was basically a big workaround in the background to insert these fixed bids and then to basically execute it on Amazon Ads. And we made this now available to everyone. So you have the possibility within the campaigns table to also export the advanced target settings. And the advanced target settings mean that for each of the target that you're having on one of your campaigns, so keyword and product, positive keyword and product targets, you have the possibility to change the bid settings. And you have 3 settings that you can now make use of. So first is you can set a minimum bid. You can set a maximum bid. So you can define a custom bid range for a specific target, like a keyword. And you can define a specific dedicated target ACOS for this target. So what is that being all about? So in the end, there are 2 very important occasions where this might become quite handy. So first of all, high season times. So you might appear with very, very critical keywords right on top of the search. And there you can simply assign these advanced target settings to some of your targets. And we will be way more aggressive with these targets, but the rest of the campaign will completely stay the same and will be focused still on efficiency and return and the like. But you can also say that strategically, you always want to target specific keywords or target specific products in Amazon or brands, brands, not products. And you always want to show up on the product pages, or you always want to stay on top of the search. and you don't care about really the return, but you want to be visible. And this is also allowing you visibility on these targets. And you can simply decide on what is either the focus target that I want to really invest into this kind of visibility, or you can simply set a bid range to take care that you're visible all the time. Okay, then we added some more bulk actions. So this is available for full support campaigns. So we still have these differentiation between campaigns that we import and that you can just optimize, bids campaigns and full support campaigns, so that are created within Ad Optimizer. But to spoiler this a bit, we will also work on this in the future. So, but what are the bulk actions that you now have available? So first of all, you can copy campaigns. Either you can create a duplicate version of the selected campaigns, that's copy, or you can create a copy as a draft. Basically, this will copy in all the campaign details into the campaign creation modal or flow, and you can edit them as desired. One very important note here on the copy feature. The copy feature is meant to be a real deep copy. So that means typically a campaign has learned over time the bits that are perfect for the campaign and for the campaign goal. Maybe it has been greatly nurtured with targets over the time and so on. It has a perfect daily budget limit, which is also all the time adjusted by Ad Optimizer. And if you copy a campaign, all of these deep settings will be copied from the source campaign as well. So you really create an absolute duplicate version of the campaign that you want to copy. This is not happening in copy as draft, because this is basically just creating the more or less front end settings, and you can change the campaign as you wish. Then we have a feature I know that many of you also requested. It's changing portfolios. So there was this workaround of doing this in the Amazon Ads console, but that was not really perfectly reflected back in Ad Optimizer. And now you have the possibility to change a portfolio right in Ad Optimizer. So just click on the portfolio or make use of the bulk action. And you also have bulk actions for adding and removing targets. Yes, we had these bulk actions also before for keywords, but now we have them for basically all targets. So you can make use of these bulk actions across all campaigns that you've selected, and add or remove specific targets, specific kinds of targets, and so on. And you can change the start date. That was a feature that we had right before in the Launchpad, and now it get moved to the campaigns table, and you can also change the start date in here. Okay, and one thing that we also added, because we believe that is quite helpful, is we have an in-depth campaign details view now. So if you press on a campaign, you will see all of the campaign details in there, like the ASINs, but also the product names, like all the creative settings, and some additional information depending on the campaign type that you're interested in. Okay, that brings me to the creative asset management. So we've also improved the asset management or the asset library. And what changes did we do in here? So first of all, we changed the UI a bit. So you now have the possibility of switching between logos and custom images. This is the top selector on the top left side. While changing from logo to custom image, you can also upload a specific type as you go or as you wish. You can search for assets, and you can click on an asset, which is basically copying the file ID. And this file ID you can then easily use in the bulk import sheets to create campaigns with the copied asset. And also, not to forget about this, you will see some metadata when you hover over an image. So sometimes images are named the same way, but the metadata reveal what type of image it is exactly. Okay. Also, to make your lives easier, we have added a counter for portfolios, for used and for available portfolios, because you might know or might not know that Amazon is restricting the amount of portfolios that you can actively manage within Amazon Ads per entity, so per country typically. And first of all, if you click on the portfolios page, you will see the amount of used portfolios compared to the amount of portfolios that you have available. Typically, that's 100. And if you create a new portfolio in the creation pop-up, you will see a counter of how many portfolios you still have available. So you have a better overview of if you want to know if you want to create a new portfolio right away, or if you maybe want to reuse an old portfolio if you have created lots of portfolios already. Then we also made some changes in our campaign reports, so namely Campaign Insights and Campaign Insights version 2. And some of these changes are more UI look and feel related. So you know that we changed our colors some time ago, and we slightly adapted the reports. But we also, in Campaign Insights version 2, we added some new KPIs. And we will roll that out over time, obviously, to the other reports and so on. But this is the current state. So Campaign Insights has, first of all, a new look and feel. But what is also very important, it has two bit different filters now. So the first of all, the portfolio filter, which is the same as it was before, but it's acting a bit differently. Because we now have the feature of changing portfolio in Ad Optimizer. You can we are historically tracking back where a campaign resided at any given point in time. So if you use this portfolio filter, you will see the exact moment when a campaign was generating ad spend and revenues in the corresponding portfolio. So you can basically also, so we don't show mixed results or something like that. So it's really clean. You're selecting a portfolio and you will see the ad spend that was generated in there by the campaigns. Then we have we changed one of the filters that was previously named metoda created to metoda managed, because also in the release, in the change that we made last year, you got the possibility to assign a target ARCOS, so goal, to also any kind of campaigns that we have not created, or most of the campaigns that we have also not created. And that means for us, it makes sense that you can filter for all campaigns where Ad Optimizer is managing your bids. So by using this metoda managed filter, you can see, you have an overview of all campaigns that get optimized by Ad Optimizer at a given point in time in history. So we also, if you remove a target ARCOS, for example, this campaign will be in the future not be filtered out anymore with this filter, but it will be in your campaign list in the past, because you may have a target ARCOS in there. And now let's come to the last point, Campaign Insights version 2. So first of all, we rolled out a new look and feel in here. And secondly, we also added these improved filters. So the portfolio filter is reflecting historical portfolio changes, and metoda manage is taking really care of where is the target ARCOS set. But secondly, we also added some additional KPIs. So you will now find in there CPO, so cost per order. You will now find in there ROAS, so return on ad spend, which we showed only ARCOS before, but now you see also the return. We added the ad ASP, so the average selling price of the ad, the average order price. And we have something which is the weighted TARCOS. Sometimes you're selecting a set of campaigns and you have different target ARCOS values behind these campaigns. And that makes analysis pretty complex if the achieved ARCOS versus to analyze the achieved ARCOS versus the target ARCOS that you want to have. So we decided to add this weighted TARCOS, which means all your campaigns and the ad spend and the corresponding TARCOS is weighted. So you simply compare the ARCOS versus the target ARCOS that you have set. Wait, let me shortly check. There was a question. Would it be possible to change the brand store destination page in a live campaign? That's a very good point. So we are also planning on making changes available of running campaigns in Ad Optimizer, but we simply could not do this for the current release. But we have a huge list of topics that we want to tackle in the remaining part of the year, and this is definitely some of the topics that we have in there. Okay, guys, that was my last slide. If you have any questions, if you want to see Ad Optimizer or get a webinar or a live demo, you can approach us or basically marketing or sales or success. And if you want to really experience how it feels, how it works, we will send out this presentation later on, and we will also have this recording live on YouTube in our YouTube channel. And if there are, I guess there is coming another question. I'm just waiting for this question, and then let's see if there's more feedback. And if not, I think we're done for today. And we're really looking forward. By the way, that was just a thank you. Okay. Live demo is a good idea. I would say so in this case. I'm not sure if everyone is interested in a live demo. So we will approach the right contact person here internally, and we will organize a live demo for you. And if you have any feedback, by the way, just send it directly to me, because we're every now and then prioritizing the features that we're adding. And as I said, we have a huge list now, which is still open, and priorities are perfect. Then we can work on the right stuff. So I wish you a very fantastic Thursday. Have a great end of the week, and see you soon again.